one of the issues I see in schools is that there are certain practices which we think are common sense, which we take for granted. And from what I understand from my visits here, some of these are particularly evident in the French education system. Firstly, that education is based around a certain group of subjects that are thought to be of particular importance academically. That there's a big emphasis on instruction to teach the knowledge and the information within the disciplines. That some disciplines are much more important than other disciplines, and that the role of the teacher is to transmit this information. Well, there's some truth in all of that. That there are disciplinary forms. They keep shifting, I think, in the world around us, and they're all constructs in various ways. And a big part of teaching is instruction. I don't have any doubt or problem with that. But one of the problems, I think, is that when I said that the world, we all live in two worlds, our interior world is who we are, essentially, and it's shaped by our experience in the world around us. But the education system is almost wholly preoccupied with this outer world. In other words, it's seen as teaching children about the world around them. Now, of course, that's very, very important. It's a big part of education. But it's also important, I think it's equally important, to help them understand the world within them, their world of feelings, their own particular talents, their own particular interests. And our failure to do that, I think, is evident in all kinds of problems that we see in schools. The levels of disengagement among young people, levels of boredom, often unacceptably or worryingly high levels of kids leaving school entirely. I live in America just now, and about, taken as an average, about 25% of kids, people can test the figure because it depends how you define it, but about 25% of kids overall don't complete high school. They leave it. And I don't like the word dropout, it's an American expression, but it sounds like they failed. And I think they didn't fail the system, I think the system failed them, because it didn't speak to them in any way. They just saw no point or purpose in it. And if you change the system, it's amazing how quickly kids will become re-engaged if you connect to them. So I think there are a couple of things about this. One of them is that we need to recognize what education is really for. It's one of those terms, there's a philosopher called Walter Bryce Galley who talked about essentially contested concepts. So he says, for example, ideas like democracy actually do mean different things to different people. Freedom means different things to different people. I was coming through the airport the other day and there was an advertisement for a bank, and it showed two kids, young children, in a lawn of a large house, running through a haze of water from sprinklers. And the slogan was, freedom is being able to run through the water of your own garden.
And in sign language, this is freedom.
Yes. But that definition of freedom wouldn't be the definition people currently have in Syria or Somalia. I mean, it's a trivial point to make, but freedom isn't a single concept. It's a complicated idea, and it means very different people according to their concepts, to their context. Democracy is like that. Justice is another essentially contested concept. We think we know what it means until we drill down to what we mean. And education is like that. We think we know what it means until we start to dig into it, and we find we mean different things by it. So I think it's important to define what you mean by education and the purpose of it. So there's a difference.